Nice having you back on this particular dashboard. So today we're going to be creating this dashboard, this beautiful dashboard here on your screen. In the previous video, we did actually write some logics, and today we are going to focus more on design and a little logic, right? So it's something very simple, and I believe you would want to actually create something just like this. All right. So I'm going to show you how to get everything created. The very first thing you have to do is to make sure you download the resources files to your PC and have it unzipped. Take a look at the task we're going to actually get ourselves involved with. How many of you remember this particular, background right here? We created this on a separate video, and we are going to actually be using this very one to get our dashboard created today. If you want to follow along step by step, you would need to learn how to create this particular background before we definitely start creating background for the current dashboard that we are building right now. It's something very simple, and I believe everybody would like to actually create with me. So see you in the class. All right, everyone. In the previous video, we actually stopped here. So we're going to continue from this. So let me just get this one deleted for now. And I'm going to shift this one right here. If we go to the data view and I click on the website analytics data, so you can see we have traffic source, we have device type, we have browser and country. So we don't want to create lots of charts to actually show all of these and how many views or whatsoever. So we want to create a single chart that will be able to switch between these particular different dimensions. So how do we do it? It's very simple. So we're going to come over here now. The very first thing we have to do is to actually insert a chart. So here is actually a chart I want to use. This particular chart right here. So make it bigger. Okay, so on this particular chart, what I want to have on the y-axis should be my country. So when you come over here, you can see we have country. So we want to actually add our device type here. And the next thing we want to add now is going to be the browser. And finally, we should actually add the traffic source. So which should be this very one here. So this is a lot. Okay, what dimension do we want to use to actually show this? So we're going to be using the page view. So that will be under the x-axis right here. So if I type in page view on the search bar, I have the page view showed up to me right here. So now we can actually have those ones hidden. So this is what we have. So we don't want to make people to start interacting with it just like this by going to go drill up and down to get more information. This will be for some kind of, when somebody's technical, you can do this. But if you have some kind of dealing with some people who are not very technical when it comes to Power BI, you will have to provide some kind of a very simple way to make the person to navigate through this with ease, right? Without using this particular go up and down, hierarchy changing wherever it is. So how do we go about this? The very first thing we have to do is to make sure, let me just make sure okay, now we have exhausted this particular drill up. So we're going to be drilling down. So the view we are seeing right now is actually the country view. Then what I'm going to do is to come over here and bring up this particular bookmark. So if you can't see a bookmark, what you need to do is to click on this particular plus sign here, and you can find the bookmark here. So make sure you activate it, right? So click on the bookmark itself. So once you click on the bookmark, the view we have right now is country. Just click on add and double click on this one. Just add country. Now, if I go, next one is actually device type. You just click on this one and you add device. So when I put device type, so you do the next one again. This time around is browser. You just click on add. And if we go one more, This is the last one, which is the traffic source. So we can add the traffic source to here. All right, so we have all of them. If I start clicking now, automatically it's changing on its own. This is what you should do, right? So we are done with this. The next thing we have to do is to make sure we have this as a button, right? So to get that done, we have to go to Insert and we click on this particular Add button. So let me give you the view that you will understand. So this view looks perfect. So now when we click on this particular Insert here, so we come over here, so we're going to see where it says Add button. So we'll click on that and we have this particular navigator. So what do we really want to add? Is it page navigator or bookmark navigator? So it's bookmark we just created. So I have this particular bookmark right here. So we can now try to change how we want this to look. So now it's working fine when you click on it. So right now we have gotten this. Let us quickly leave it for when we start designing. I'm going to compress it a little bit and keep it right here now that we have gotten this. So the next thing right now is to actually create a chart that will show us how many of those particular views got converted and how many were not converted. A very simple chart indeed. Before we go ahead, if we come over here now, you can see we have a total page view, right? So in this particular total page view, this is a simple measure we have written to actually get the total page view up here. Can you see it right now? Very simple. So if I go over here now, I can scroll to this side. So we have this column that supports how many of those calls were converted and how many of them were not converted. This is what we want to use, right? So the column name is conversion status. So let's go back here. And this time around, we want to create under measure. So our measure should actually be named. So I just named this one conversion session. And what we want to do is to get a percentage. That is what we are interested in, right? So if you want to get a percentage, you can actually put the percentage, symbol right here. And over here to actually get for the percentage, what we need to do is to use the divide function. And inside the divide function, we have to actually get the values that are some kind of peculiar to conversion. So we can use the calculate function right here. So in here, we're going to do conversion status, calculate, this is going to be where we put in our total views, comma, and we bring in this here. So we're going to say what it is equals to. So something like this would be cool. All right, so we divide that by the total views and we close. So once we have done this, we can just go ahead and copy this very one here. So make sure this one is converted into a percentage and there should be no decimal places, right? So let's put 0 over here instead of having 2 on it. I'm going to create a new one. Remember, I copied, right? So I'm going to paste this one here and just put not converted session. Then over here, I have to put not here. So you have to verify and make sure this is what is being used. Otherwise, you might have an error. This is the only changes we need to make. So we hit the enter key and we format this accordingly. Let us quickly bring them into a card and see what it is that we have done. So over here, I'm getting this into a card. It's showing us blank already. And this one as well. Okay, they both show blank. What is going on? So let's find out over here. So when we come over here now, we are going to go into our data. We scroll all through. So we have converted and not converted. This is quite okay, so we got it right, but there is something we have missed and it's a common mistake that anybody could actually make. Let's quickly go back and fix it. So not conversion, but converted. I believe by now we should be good 100%. That is okay. So we have 68%, 32%, and both of them together should give us 100%. So if they're giving you below or above, that means something is wrong somewhere. This is what we should actually have, right? The next thing right now, we don't need this one yet. We want to actually create two other measures that will support us to create the kind of, chart we want to create. Okay, so let's quickly add the two measures. Right click here and under new measure, so what we are estimating is to actually either, I think not even either, our goal is to have 100% conversion for everyone who landed on our website, right? So if we could not get 100%, let's say we're having 63%, so how many percentages left to meet up 100%? We have to actually do that. So how do we get this done? I'm going to type in just R for remainder, like what is left. So for conversion, all right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually say 1.0, that is 100, right? So 1.0 is equal to 100. I'm going to subtract 100% from what? From my converted session. Do you get it right now? So if I hit my enter key, let's see what this will give to us. So you will have to actually convert this into a percentage to see the result. But before we quickly show this on a card, I want to actually make sure I create the second one. So let's do new measure. Okay, let's say we want to use this particular not converted here on a card. So this is giving us 68.15%. And if I come over here and I bring this over here, now this is what we have. Bringing these two together should give us 100%. That is what it is, right? But what we're actually looking forward to seeing is not something like this, but creating a kind of chart that will make sure we have a good view on our dashboard. All right. I want to put this particular not converted. Then I go over to this very one here. I now have something like this, right? The next thing is for we to actually do the formatting. To get the formatting done, we have to come over here. So there is no way we're going to keep the legend. I have to take it off. The title, no. The tab label, no. So the question is this: how do we do this particular color right here? Let's go over to this particular slices. And this particular one is what we want to actually make sure we use as what is left for we to achieve 100%. So let's go ahead and change this one to this kind of color, to bright. Let's go with this. Okay, maybe for the time being, let's go with this very one here. Okay, we have this. And on this one, for now, we can just choose any random color that we can use later after we actually match the color to what we want. So we have something like this. So when we have something like this, we need to actually check this is it the circle. So we have to check the size over here if this is okay. Otherwise, you can actually change it. So let's click on this and click on spacing. And over here, you can increase or you reduce. This is increase. So this is reduction. So can you see it now? So maybe I want to put this one at 80%. This is good for me. So I can just go ahead and take it this way. Okay, for the time being, I wouldn't care about the size yet. I just want to drop it here and Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to actually bring this in and keep this over here. Let us change the content we have inside it. We go for this. All right. So what do we do over here? We do the opposite of what we have done previously, which is picking this one and giving it this particular color. Now let us leave it at this particular color. All right, so if you hover over this now, you are seeing a tooltip. Maybe what you want is to actually disallow somebody for even seeing any tooltip. So what you can do is to click over here and come over to properties and disallow the tooltip to show up. So do the same thing to this one here, disallow the tooltip. So if I actually hover, there is no tooltip showing up right here. All right, the next thing we want to do right now is to bring in the value. So let's quickly go ahead and bring the values, which is gonna be the percentage of converted, this one here. So let's quickly format it. It should be right here, and choose 30, make it a bit smaller and keep it here. So Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste it. So bring this one here and change it to this particular one. So check it out. This is cool, right? So we are not done with the formatting yet. We're gonna format it. So for the time being, I want to shift this one to here, and this particular one should be right here with it. Later after all, we adjust it. All right, the next thing we want to do right now is to create a table that would actually show some kind of hierarchy and different measures as well. So it's something very simple, and we're gonna do that together. So we have two different types of table right here. So we have the metrics table and we have the ordinary table. So here is just a table, and this one is the metrics table that can take more than one dimension, and you can actually collapse it to see more information, or depends on what you want. So let's click on this one and use it. Okay, over here, all I have to do is to stretch this. The very first thing I want to bring in here now, come over here under the row axis. So what we want is just to go over here. So the browser, device type here, we want to bring country, and finally we want to bring in traffic source. So we have all of this in here. When I collapse, I'm going to see this, right? Okay, what are the measures we want to get on the column level? So there shouldn't be any measure on the column level. So what I want now is actually getting measures on the value level, right? Some couple of measures. So let's do it. So over here on the value, so I want to click on our DAX here, or we can make a search on what we want. So let's go to page view. So here is our page view. To that section here. So session duration, that is the average session duration here. So let's do it again. So we want to get the bounce rate. Okay, having all of this seems to be what we are looking forward to seeing. This is great, very great. So we have to make sure we format this to actually meet up the standard you have seen when you click on this video, make it look good. So we are done with all the visuals we want to actually add on this particular page. So now it is time for we to actually clean this up and make it look beautiful, right? If you look at it right now, let me just make you see it better. On focus mode, as you can see, we have this particular session with 2, which means there's a blank somewhere. So you can deal with it without going to Power Query to get it cleaned up. Let's do it. So we can, let's keep this view. So with this view right now, go over here, and what you can do is to check or use any of the measures. Let me go with bounce rate and say under bounce rate. No, let's go with somewhere like country. So under country, we have blank country. So check everything and uncheck the blank from it. That gives you what you want in a correct format. You see that now? So next time, you shouldn't just think of like, I want to just go to Power Query to do it. You can do it from here. I believe you remember this particular background we built in Power BI from somewhere. We both did this as a class. I'm going to share a link of this particular background to you guys so that you can take a look at how I got it created. So we're going to be using this now for our dashboard. So let's find out what we need to do. So over here, I can kind of go with this one. All I have to do is to get out some element which I don't really need to use. So I'm going to get this one off, get this one off as well. Then finally, I'm going to get this very one here off. Now I have this. So let's go ahead and clear off this particular one, very importantly. So over here on this particular one, let's come back to this shape format. So let's do 2.11 for the height. Something like this will be cool. So I want to keep this over here. Ctrl V. I hope you remember this. So let's go back and actually add some cards. Okay, I think we can actually have it here. Let's have it here. So we have this particular card right here. Don't worry if it covers everywhere. We are good to go with this. The next thing we have to do now is to actually use a shape. Let's go with this particular shape and drag it down right here like this. So come over to here and now over here. So we do it 1 by 94 to 3.35. This is okay. So I'm just going to make sure I reduce the rounded corner a little bit. And now we click on duplicate to have a duplicate of it right here. So this one, we shouldn't have something very huge just like what we have here, because what we have here is not that much. Let's reduce it. So we do the same thing again. 247. So this is what we have here. So make sure it covers this place up. So in case you don't see what is behind it, you can just go ahead and do format shape. Come over here, reduce this. Then you can see what is behind it. So now you can just duplicate it, have another one here. Do the same thing again, have another one here. So now to have equal spacing here, what you need to do is to hold your control key, select this one, and this one. Go over to shape and click on align, and you align this horizontally. That is it. So you can actually do this one to top. So make sure you watch the first video for you to know how to create this from the scratch before you get to this particular part of the video. So I'm going to have the link for you. Okay. Once we are done with this, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to actually go ahead and get this particular shape duplicated, or Ctrl Z, select, click on this one, Ctrl D to duplicate it. Let's have this shape over here like this. Stretch it to cover it up to this level and do this. Right? So Ctrl D to get it done. So we just have to make sure we keep this over here. All right. So we are not really satisfied with what we have yet. We are on a guesswork. So the next thing we have to do right now is to go ahead and remove this. Now we have something like this, which gives us this right here. Okay. And then this one now is going into here. What we need to do is to make sure we start adjusting things the way it should be, let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit. And over here, we click on this one and we just push it in here a bit like this. And we just move it up a bit. We click on this one, we move it up a little bit like this. All right. So if you look at this one over here, we have to do some work here. To get this work done, there is something we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and some kind of bring up this circle, drag it down. We don't want a perfect circle. So this circle will be somewhere around here. So you can just rotate this. Then you move this, adjust this to actually meet up what you really want, like this. So just shift this a little bit. Push it out. All right, nice one. Bring this one down a bit, something like this. So the next thing now is this. We want to actually extract something from here. So make sure you hold this particular one below and click on this one. In case you don't know which one to use, when you come over to shape or format, here you can try which one will give you what you want. Can you see? Different one. So what I want to use is extract, this extract here. So in case you forgot it, you can just try any of this one that gives you what you want. So we want to extract. When we extract, we have something like this. Can you see what we have now? This is what we have. So in case you don't have this shape I have right here, you can go over to this particular part, click on this shadow, click over here, and you choose any of this one here. So you have to choose the one that gives you the direction you really want, right? It's something very simple. Different directions are here. Can you see the one I've chosen now? So this is what you can do. I already have the kind of shape I want to have. Okay, this one seems to give us what we want. The next thing I'm going to do is just to make sure I bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing to this very one right here. So once done, it is time for me to change the color. The color here is not what we want to use. So we need to change the color we have right here. So first of all, let's go ahead and click on this, and this. And let's put it back to 0%. Now we have this color. So when we have this color, the next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we click on this one and these two here to change their color. So let's go with a color like this. And we want to say there should be not this one. All right, this seems to look cool, but we're not done yet. I want to do something. And that will be me going back here and copy this, Ctrl C, and come over here and have it pasted in here. So once I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and get this one and just get something like this. Right? So let me delete this one again. All right. So that is cool. We can just move this up a bit. Now I want to go ahead and get a circle again. Drag this circle down to what you like. Now keep it over here. So when we keep this over here now, what we are going to do is to just click on this one first, click on this one, and go over here. You already know the drill. This is what it is that we want to have. So we can actually go ahead and give this one white. Give it a white color, and there should be no outline. So it's not showing up very well. I told you, come over to this particular part here under effect and choose the effect that will give you what you want. So let us look for an effect that goes this very way. And now we have to reduce it. Right? So we can just play around with the blur. The blur will make it stand out. Something like this looks okay. Can you see right now? We are beginning to actually create that particular kind of, effect you've seen before now. So we don't need all of those ones here. We have to get them off. All right, the next thing is for me to click on this one. If you have actually built this with me, you will understand everything. So let's go over to here and select black color. That gives us this kind of effect. You can play around with the transparency to see which one works best for you. I want to choose a darker version of it. And here we can change the name to match what we want. So web. All right. So we're not done yet. We have to do something over here. And now we just have to go over to gradient fill. And I'm going to take one stop off. Let's go with these steps. And I'm going to choose white color. So I want to come over here. Let's choose this particular color here. So let me take off this stop as well. We have two stops now. So I'm going to swipe them. Have this one over here. And for no line, yes, of course, no line. So you can play around with what you have here to see which one will best give you what you want. You can see switching it right now. So switch between them to see which one will give you something nice. So something like this looks perfectly okay, but this is too bright or dark rather. So what we can do, let's click on this very one here, scroll down a little bit over here, go to more colors, and let me show you the color you can use. So you can use this 242 for all the boxes here, or you just choose to use this hex code. So let's go ahead and click on OK. Now it's better. So what we can do now is to just copy and give to every one of those ones here. This is exactly what we want. So can you see it now? So don't bother about this one yet. We can actually readjust things right here. So let me quickly go ahead and have this one done. It's by taking off this one. On your download file, we have those images I have used here. You can actually copy it and do the same thing. It's simple. Watch the first video. It's very important for you to watch it. Okay, we now have something like this. So we can just adjust things this way. And we can adjust things in Power BI. If it doesn't give us what we want, we can come back here and make sure we get things done rightly. Okay, let's say we are done with this one for now. We have to go to Power BI. We just go ahead and click on this and we go export. We click on this one and PNG. So we can just export this one to background and you click on OK. Just this one. So let's go pick it up. Okay, now we have it here. We just have to make sure we do this. And here we go. It's looking a bit okay, but not very okay because we have some background right here. All I have to do is to make sure I click on this one, click on this particular one right here. And let's go ahead and actually turn off the background we have right on it. So this will give you something much more better. Let's quickly do something again. Come over here and the color is what we have to play around with. What color do we want to use? We have not agreed on the color yet. So what we can do now is to quickly get off all those particular borders I'm seeing right here. We don't need them at all. So hold your control key to select them. Come over here and quickly turn off the background. And let's see if we can do anything to turn off this background right here without doing individual work. Okay, we'll have to do it individually. So let's click on this one here and we go down and select this. That will give us much more way to format this. Okay. So what we can do is to click on the card and over here we turn off both border and this one. So click on this card, both border and this one. Then do the same to this particular one. And over here, all we just want to get off is just the one right here. So for the border, we can play around with the border to leave it the way it is. So this particular line here, you can play around with it. It's optional if you want to keep that. So this is what we have right here. It's looking a bit cleaner than what we expected. So here we just click on this one, and over here we turn off this. So this one here is not looking pretty enough for us. So what we can do now is just to make sure we clean it up as well. It's something you can do, very simple and easy. We need to actually add one more slicer, and that slicer should be our month slicer. So all I'm going to do is to right click on visual. So let's say from here, we can go through here, the dates table. I will click on the month. So we have the month here. So with the month here, we want to turn the month into a slicer. So we go over to new slicer, new card, so new slicer. So we have new slicer and we have list slicer. It depends on the version you have right now. So once we have gotten this done, let's quickly go ahead and just adjust this and go ahead and stretch it to this level. All right. So once we have done this now, let's go to layout. Under the layout, you can play around with what you have right here, column or rows. Depends on which one you want. So we go with rows and we'll give it 12. Now we have everything right here, right? So let's quickly go ahead and okay, let's see. So we have to go over here and we click on the month. So we remove the blank. So the blank is gone. So we have this one hidden back again. And now we can adjust things normally like this. So let's just quickly go over to here and turn off the background. Then back again, the title should be gone. So this time around, we can make it smaller, just like this. So the next thing we have to do is to make sure we give it a black color. So how do we do that? It's very simple because this white color is not matching or fitting our background, and as well the dashboard is looking weird. Let us quickly go over to a place where we can change that. And that will be under the card. Here we have border turned off, the fill color turned off, and we have this ugly thing right here. So do we have to turn off the fill color this way? Depends. So we want to leave the fill color. Instead of us turning off the fill color, we can choose to leave it on a black color like this, right? We still have our fill color. So what happens when we hover over it? It gives us this color. So now we want to see selected. So whatever has been selected, we want to actually give it a particular color. And that color should match the color we want to use for our background. So let's go over here and choose something like this. For example, this, right? We can adjust the color by clicking over more colors here and just work on the color. So can you see? The color is becoming something a bit cool. All right. So I want to use this color all through my dashboard and one other color. So I'm going to copy the color code from here. So once I've done that, this is for the selected one. Then for the selected one, I love it on white. So let's go over here now and choose for this particular selected default one. Let's change the color. So we have this. Can you see now? So selected one now, we want to have it on bold so that it can actually, or you can just increase this without bolding it. Just increase the size. Let's keep it back. Something like this will be okay. All right. For the unselected one, which is the default one, you can have it on italic. So, all right, we had done this one. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we have conditional formatting on this one. That will make it fine. And I believe it's something you can do. And I'm going to leave all that to you to handle. Right? So let us look at one quick thing we have to do to get this done. So if you want to create a different page, what you can do now is to right click and click on duplicate. So once you have gotten this particular duplicate removed, the next page we want to create right now should be a drill through page. So we have to get off this, and this very one from here, highlight everything and get them off from here. Then this one should be gone as well. We don't need to keep this one, right? So let's go back here. So we're going to change the color of this one to match this color. So let's go over to bars and so we're going to choose the same color for the I think here, if I click on this one, let's see what is this. This is converted. So I'm going to take off this knot from here. I'll have this one here to be not. All right. So for the converted one, once you click on it, you come over here to the percentage of converted one, choose this, and come over here now and choose this one to be this color for not converted, right? So the value should be matched with the color of the selection. So click over this one and match it to this particular one right here. Can you see it now? This makes the dashboard to pop out very well. This is what you need to do. So quickly, let us go back to this particular one right here. So if I right click and add a visual, this visual should be a line chart like this. And you can stretch it to fit into where you want to have it right in. What we want to have here is month and day. So what we need to do is to go back to this particular part here. So open up this particular one and we can click on our month, right click and create hierarchy. Sorry, on our date rather. So we have gotten hierarchy created. So you can click on the month itself and add this particular hierarchy to it. So add to hierarchy. Okay, once done, just click on the hierarchy and have it here. So total page view. So targets. So this is what we have. So we have the page view and as well we have the target right here. Can you see it? You can just clear this axis. For the x-axis, we want to clear the title. And for the value, open it up and just make it bold. That will pop it out very well. Now for the y-axis, you want to make sure you have everything under the y-axis hidden. Exclude the value. So leave the value the way it is, right? So for the legend, we just have to go to the legend here and turn off what? Turn off the title for the legend. So leave the legend the way it is. So for the title here, so I want to put here monthly page views versus target. So here we go. Can increase the size like this. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we actually go ahead and let's see, under the line and choose the color we want to use. So let's select total page view. So give it the color. Let's go with this color for page view. So let's go for this again. We give this one its own color. All right. So now we turn on this particular one and open it up to give us a shade. So let's go ahead and use something like 80 something. I prefer using 95. Okay. Instead, let's go with 90. 90 looks perfect. So I hate using this particular kind of line chart. Let's click scroll all the way to where we can see. Let's go line and so let us put this on all. Then this one will now pop up and we can do smooth line. This gives us something much more beautiful. So can you see this right now? So when you hover over it on a daily basis, you can see the target and how we made it up whatsoever. Something like this could be built. So remember, you can actually go to the next one. So can you see, you can just play around with what you have here. Depends on what you really want to achieve. So let's go with something like this. So this is actually narrowed down to a particular month. If I deselect this from here right now, we have lots of data right here. And for we to be able to make sense with this particular data, all we have to do is to make sure we come to this particular zoom slider. So the zoom slider added the horizontal and vertical line. So we have to come over here and control what we see on the zoom slider, right? So open it up and choose to say, okay, for the y-axis, we don't want to keep you, but we want to keep the x-axis right here. So there is no point in keeping this particular one here because we're going to be drilling down from a different page to this particular page. Let's get it off. All right, over here, we're going to create a new chart here. In case you don't know how this one works, is for you to actually some kind of scroll to a particular or zoom to a particular part you want to see. Let's say you want to see something from February 2024. You can just keep on adjusting until you have that month in view, right? So I'm going to go back a bit. So here is it. We are in February 2024 here. And there is no any month before this one. So there's no target. Our target starts from this particular place. Over here, we only have the page view and all of that. Can you see it right now? That is beautiful. Okay, the next thing we want to do is for we to bring in here the weekday, so or day of week, and we do page view. So here we go. This is easy. Let us change the color to this one here. Click on this and we go over to color and we have the color to match this particular color we have right here. So quickly we can turn on the data label. Over here. So you can just adjust it. So our main aim here is to actually drill by using this particular part or this very first dashboard here. So what we want to do now is that when country is in view, we want to be able to hover over here and see more detail about this particular country based on the dates of calls and on the weekdays. So to get that done right now, click nowhere or no chart or no object and come over to page information. And instead of we seeing standard, we can choose to see drill through, right? So click over here and open up this particular part here. So we want to drill using the browser, the country, the device type, and this very one right here. So once we are done, we are good to go. So we can actually go ahead and close this and have this closed as well. This very one here is to actually go back. So you can actually adjust it to keep it somewhere around here. This as well beautifies here a little bit. So once you have this here, the next thing you have to do is to make sure you go to this particular page. And now over here, look at the month that is active. May is active. If I hover over India and here as a country, I can go over here and go to this particular part, and what we see is information about Indian. As you can see, there is a big difference right now. So this is not giving us something that make a lot of sense. I used to see a lot of people who just leave this and allow people to start thinking like, what the heck is going on here? So let us make this some kind of a bit more, you know, I don't know how to put this. We just want to make sure whenever we actually drill through to this page, we want to actually show people what we clicked on to drill through to this particular page. So we have to write a measure for that, and it's very simple. Measure, but it might look a bit bulky. Very simple. Let us write the measure. So over here, I'm going to right click on my DAX area, new measure. All right, once we have this up, the next thing we have to do right now, I'm going to say selected drill. So equals. So we have to write some couple of variable. So now a variable here, I'm going to use underscore. So I'm going to call this one country, which means if we drill down from country, so selected value, so we want to see country, right? So we close this. So for me to avoid writing this over and over again, I can Ctrl C to copy. And the next thing is for me to go ahead and paste multiple times. I think we have to paste like 4 times. So don't bother about this. We need just, no, sorry, Ctrl Z. So we're going to copy everything from here. Ctrl C. So one more time. Here we go. Here is going to be a different one. Let's call this one traffic source. So here is going to be traffic source. Can you see it now? Traffic source is there. So over here, let's do this one for underscore browser. So we just change this one to browser. And lastly, we're going to do this one for device. Device type here. So we just double click here and we choose the device type. So we have gotten this done. The next thing now is for we to see what our result will be like. So I'm going to do on that variable again. It will be underscore result equals. So inside here, we're going to use the multiple if condition to get something done right here. Or still, we can actually use switch true, right, to get things done. Let us try switch true. So if this underscore browser here is not blank, so this means it's not blank, then what we want is to have underscore browser. So comma, the next one is this country. If it is not blank, the next thing is for we to have underscore country. So on and on, we put another underscore again. Device type here is not blank. Then we do underscore device type. And finally, we don't have to specify. Okay, we have to specify. So we still do underscore again. So we have to put a comma right here. So underscore traffic source. So it's not blank. Then we'll put a comma right on it. So we go with traffic source. So we can go ahead and close this. So here is the result we want to achieve. But how do we actually display this? So we're going to actually go over here and say, okay, now return this. So when returning this, what I want you to do for me is to actually say, you know what? This view is affected by the drill through from. Now we're going to go ahead and do ampersand underscore results. So let us check out this one and see what it is that we're going to have. Our result is just the return part, but we have to do all these ones we have done before we get right here. So let us quickly look at this. I'm going to go ahead and do, what the heck is it? Okay, here we go. Keep it somewhere around here. Make it small. Don't bother. I'm gonna shape things right here. Let's go. And turn off this one. Over here, let us use 20. Okay, 20 looks cool, but not really very cool. Let's go with 25. That is better. 25, 25. I'm gonna go with 23. So now it's mixed together. We have to control how we show this right here. So what I'm gonna do now is to quickly go back to here, drop it down, and scroll down, put a space here, hit enter key, and that will correct the whole thing for us. So let's go back and check it out. So now here, to get it right, let's go over to this page again. So this time around, I'm going to go to this particular device, type here, and I'm going to select mobile. So drill through to what? And once we drill through to this particular page right now, as you can see, now that we are here, this gives us a guideline of what we are seeing is being affected by a filter from a drill through, which is this view is affected by the drill through from mobile. All right, so this is not looking good at all. Let's go ahead and turn off this background right here. And it's not looking quite good again. We want to change it to this color. All right, here we go. Every single time we come over to here and make any changes to what we have here, like traffic source, now to paid search. Oh, before we do anything, if you look at this now, it's actually not showing everything. Click on it and let's adjust it. It's under y-axis. Make sure this one is going to 50%. Now we can see everything. So let us go to organic search. And if I go over here and just go to this side, now I have this. So this is the time for we to adjust the number. Instead of we having it that way, I'm going to put it on 20. I want to have my organic to be standout. So what I'm going to do now is to come over here now, go over to here, open up the code and scroll down a little bit. Instead of me having this, I'm going to put upper. That will capitalize whatever I drill through to the page over here, and it will make it stand out from the rest of the text. I just don't know. Maybe this one will look fine. Okay. Okay. If you look at my search, my organic search is on capital letter. I wish I could change the color. That would have been better, but there's no provision for that. I don't know. Okay. Maybe next time I'll try to see if I can do that. This is exactly what we have right here. So I believe this will give you an overview of what you can do to build a very nice looking dashboard. As we have actually completed this dashboard, try to actually replicate this yourself and see what you can do with the information and the knowledge right here. So see you in my next video.